What happens during the interview? What are you supposed to know? So now that we have looked at how much money we need, now that you have filled your DS260, and I told you when you fill your DS260, they will send you the second notification letter. So they have sent you the second notification letter, which tells you your date of interview. And we said that you should go for medical. Before you go for interview, you go for medical. And medical in many times it is done 2 weeks. The medical is done 2 weeks before your interview. So it is important to understand that. Now after going for your medical, now it is time for interview. What really happens during your interview? Now it is important to understand that when they send you the second notification letter, they will request you to register your appointment online. Now, if you want to change the date they have given you, you can change it during the registration. And also you register your DHL office. Remember what we said if you have been following what we have been saying. So now, before we talk about what happens during the interview, we need to understand what types of document we need to have during during the interview. What kind of document, what types of document we need to have during the interview, and that is what we are going to be looking at in this video. Welcome, my name is Kelvin Adonis. If you have not subscribed, kindly make sure that you subscribe. Remember, when you subscribe, information like this will be getting to you. You are the first person that this information will be getting to you whenever we post a video. And also, make sure that you help us reach more people. How do you do that? If you look at your screen, there is a like button. Very simple. Just tap it or just click on the like button, and that is it. If you have any question on the comment section, make sure that you ask me and I will try my best to answer you. Now, what type of document do you need during the interview, and what really happens during the interview? So let's get into it. But first of all, let's look at the document you need to have during the interview. These are the kind of document you will carry to the interview. Now, in order for you to have or to go for the interview, these are the kind of document that you will need. Now, these are very basic, the basic one. These are very common. You will need a birth certificate, your birth certificate, that this is mandatory. You need court and prison record. Now, this one is not for everyone. This is for those people, maybe you have ever been arrested. You will need to have your court or prison records. Now, if you have ever been in the military, you will need to have your military records. If now this one is not, this one is mandatory for the police clearance certificate, just to show that you have never been involved in any sort of a crime. Now, so you will need a police clearance certificate, and also you will need your passport and a photocopy of your biographic data page. You will need your passport and your biographic data page. Now that we know what we need, it is important to also understand that different embassies we have the US embassy in Uganda, we have US embassy in Ghana, we have US embassy in Rwanda, we have US embassy in Burundi, and all these countries. So different embassies might request for different documents. Like for example, let me show you an example of an embassy that I'm going to use in this case is the example of the embassy that I'm going to use is the US embassy in Kenya, right? Let us use it as an example and see what kind of document they will request. So if you are doing your interview in Kenya, this is what you will need to know. You will need to register your appointment online, and when you come here you can register. Remember guys, I told you that all this information it is on travel.state.gov. This has all the information you need. Even if you feel that this information that I'm giving you is not enough, go to this site or look for other YouTubers that can be trusted. So this is travel.state.gov, and then all the information you need is here. So now we are looking at the US Embassy in Nairobi, and this is their requirement. You will need to register your appointment online. You can come and register online. There is also schedule. You need to schedule your medical examination. Remember guys, I have told you that your examination is done 2 weeks before your interview. So you will need to register your medical examination and also make sure that it is 2 weeks before your interview. And step number 3, you will need to check your pre-interview checklist, yeah, and then you review the interview guideline. You can come and check on this website, no problem. But the most important thing that we want to look at is the document that we need in Nairobi or in Kenya. What kind of document do you need? So these are the checklists. You make sure that you have this document. You should have this document. Number 1 is not important because even they're telling you here does not apply to diversity visa. This one is for I don't know who this one is for, but they are a copy of your NVC, but this one does not apply to diversity visa. So what we need a passport which is valid. Remember guys, if you have been following, I've been telling you guys that if your passport is almost expiring, you need to renew it. So the passport should be valid for 6 months beyond your intended date of entry to the United States. Something else that you need 2 colored photographs of each person applying for the visa. The photograph should be 2 by 2. 2 by 2, that means 2 inch by 2 inch. And then you should also have the confirmation page from DS260 application for an immigrant visa. Remember, when you are submitting DS260, there is the confirmation page that you normally download. So make sure that you have it. And if you have not downloaded, you can go back and also download it so that when you're going for the interview, you have it with you. You need to have a confirmation page of your online selection of a diversity address to return to your passport. Now remember, this is I think what they're talking about here is the DHL. Now when they send you the second notification letter, they will tell you to register your appointment or your interview, and when you're registering your interview, they will request for your DHL office which is near you or the one that you know. Then you will also need your original birth certificate and also a photocopy of it. You will need medical examination result in a sealed envelope. Now when you go for medical, they will either give you an envelope which is sealed, but in most cases what they do, they send it directly to the embassy. So yeah, but they need a medical examination result. Another thing they will need is the original certified copy of your birth certificate, or for the children of the principal applicant. Now remember, if you're going with your children, for those of you who have families, if you're going with your children, you will need to have their birth certificate, the original ones. Now in Kenya, this is what I was talking about now when I was telling you guys that different embassy request for different document. The affidavit of support, well, according to what I had many people saying, but I'm not really sure on this one. Maybe you guys, you can tell me on the comment section. The US Embassy request for something we call affidavit of support. The US Embassy in Kenya or in Nairobi, that is, they normally request for affidavit of support. So make sure that you have this one. This one you will have it. But remember, guys, when they are sending you the second notification letter, they will tell you everything that you need to have. Actually, when they send you that second notification letter, it actually does not have all this, but the embassy, like for example, in this case, the US Embassy of Kenya, when you are going for the interview, they will send you they will send you the list of all the document that you will need. So you don't need to worry about it. Then you will need evidence of relationship between petitioner and visa applicant, such as photograph and letters or email. Now remember, guys, in the beginning when we were talking about filling the DS260, we talked about petition, and we said that a petitioner, maybe it's somebody who is employing you in the United States and he has, you know, applied visa for you, right? So you will need to have to show evidence that you need to have this evidence that you're talking about here. Now, other documents. Now, if you're married, you will need original marriage certificate. If you were previously married and then you got divorced, you will need a divorce certificate, or however you call it, or you will need a death certificate. Just in case if they died, you will need their death certificate. Now, if you are older than 18, you need to have a police clearance certificate, and we talked about that, guys. And if you are a refugee, you need to have something we call asylee document. For employment-based visas, you need a letter from your US employer dated less than 1 month ago. If you have ever been convicted of a crime, you need something we call court or criminal records. If you have any military, if you have ever served military, you need to have military record. If you are adopted, you need to have adoption papers. Or if you have also adopted, you need to have those we call adoption papers. Now, if you are the petitioner's stepchild, the original marriage certificate of the petitioner and your biological parent, and original divorce record in any previous marriage of either parents, are along with the photocopy. Now, sometimes they might request you to send these documents to KCC. So here they are just telling us where you will visit in order to send any document. All right. And again, for those of you maybe you are not there, for those of you who are not there, I told you if you want to know all this information, you can go to travel.state.gov. Now, guys, now that we know the kind of document, we need, there is something we need to know. Now, these people, they have told you they have told you, or they have shown you, or we know the kind of document that we need. Now, the second notification normally always has a date and time. So you will need to be very ready during that day so that you don't waste time. Make sure that you are there during that time that they have specified, or the time that you registered. Make sure that you are there on time. The thing is, be there on time. So during this day of interview, normally what happens is you go through the screening. The first thing is you go through the screening. When you go through the screening, they will check your passport, whether it's valid or not. Then they will allow you inside. After they are finished screening you, you will still go inside and they will check you. That is what we say, the protocol they use to check, to make sure that you are secure, you are not a threat. So they will screen you go through the first, they check your document, go through the second, then they do the screening, they check whether you have anything wrong, then you proceed to the place of interview. Now this is the most important part for you to understand, that the documents, they will give you a small paper to let you know the kind of document you will need, and also make sure that you have their photocopies. And after you put there, they will give you I don't know, a voucher. They will give you a voucher. So when that voucher is called upon, now you know that it is your time to go inside for your interview. Something that I should tell you concerning this interview is, the interview does not take long. These people, they have a lot of people to interview, so they don't have a lot of time with you or for you. So that is why it is always important to always make sure that you have organized yourself well, you have prepared yourself well. That paper they give you, they tell you to arrange those documents. Make sure that you arrange those documents in order. That is for person that I'm talking about, that person who is in Kenya. I don't know what in Uganda happens, or I don't know what's in Tanzania happens, but if you are in Kenya, there is a paper they give you. Make sure you are arranging those documents properly, and then in the order they have shown you. You put the original document and the photocopy on top. You put another document, original document, and photocopy on top. Then when your voucher is called upon, now that is when you go now to the consular officers. You give them your document, and then you go and pay for your visa. When you pay for your visa, you go, you wait. I think they will tell you what time they will now officially call you for the interview. And the interview, they ask you very simple questions. Very simple questions. Yeah, they ask you very simple question, and they are very direct to the point. Now the thing is, you should be able to know that do not contradict yourself. Just make sure that you know what you are doing, because when you contradict yourself, that one can lead to disqualification, or you are putting the consular officer in a position where he can deny you or give you a refusal. So make sure that you're consistent in what you are saying. What you put in the document, what you say, they are consistent. Yeah. Now, after now the consular officer asks you these questions, now they will tell you either you have been, they will give you a paper to let you know if you have been selected. If you are selected, you normally receive a green paper. If you have been denied, they normally give you, I don't know, it is a pink or purple. I don't know that color, but it's pink or purple. And then if you have been refused, they give you a yellow paper. And that paper is called a Form 221G. And that paper means that you can still get your visa, but there is something you are missing, or there is something that is not clear. So the consular officer will let you know what is the problem and why they are giving you that yellow paper. So I guess that is all you need to know. What happens during the interview is just very simple screening. You go inside, you give the document, then they call you. When the consular officer calls you, you give them your document, pay for the visa, wait for the interview. When they call you for the interview, they ask question, then they give you that green paper, or they give you whichever paper they think is good for you. There is the green, there is the pink, there is the yellow. So you can get any of them. So that's why I think making this video, I think, is very important, because just gives you an insight of what you should expect. Now, thank you very much. I hope this video was helpful to you. And remember, guys, if you have not subscribed, make sure that you subscribe. Help us to reach more people by liking this video. And if you have any comment, or if you have any question, ask me on the comment section, and I will try my best to answer you. Now, on our next video, I will try to discuss about the kind of, or the type of questions you should expect when you are being interviewed, so that we can have an idea of what we should expect before we go for the interview. Now, thank you very much. My name is Kelvin Adonis, and I would like to wish you all the best, and I hope that you will succeed and you will get your visa. Thank you.